If you're just starting setting up a home studio, this is the video for you. Welcome to Sound Better Slider. We're going to go over all the different equipment categories for a home studio. Each one of them is going to have an explanation as simple as I can make it. Thing one. We're going to need some type of computer running what's known as a digital audio workstation piece of software. Thing two. Next, you'll need what is known as an audio interface. Now, the principal job of the audio interface is to take your sound from out here in the world through microphones and convert it to a digital language and carry it on a little cable over to your computer, and then it has to do the opposite. It has to send the signal back to the interface on the digital cable and convert it to analog so you can hear it. Thing three. Assuming you're going to want to record some type of actual instrument, we'll need a microphone or microphones. One is going to be necessary if you're going to record some sound. Thing four. Next, we have MIDI controller devices. These can look like keyboards, but they don't have any sound on board because we're going to be obtaining the sound typically from inside the computer. They can also look like pads, like square pads that we hit with our fingers, or they can look like drums, electronic drum pads. Thing five. Next, we're going to need some type of headphones. If you only have speakers in your studio, you're not going to be able to record using your microphones properly. You don't see me wearing any now because I'm not listening to anything pre-recorded and playing along with it. I'm just talking. So as long as I stay within a certain proximity of the microphone, you'll be able to hear me just fine. But if I was playing or singing along to some existing music, I would need headphones on to try and hear that stuff while I'm performing along with it. Thing six. In addition to headphones, you're going to want to consider purchasing a pair of studio monitors, which are essentially speakers that are built to a higher standard of accuracy than your average set of stereo speakers. You're going to want to combine a good set of headphones with a good set of studio speaker monitors. Thing seven. Next, you'll need some type of recording software known as a digital audio workstation or a DAW or a DAW for short. There are many of these programs out there. All of these are viable options, but as we get deeper into figuring out what your specific goals are, you may have more of a preference towards one piece of software because every software has specialties and perhaps things that it's also not so great at. There is no perfect piece of software, despite what any one company might tell you in their marketing, but you will be able to find the type of software that fits your workflow best if you analyze a little bit what your goals are in the studio for you specifically. Thing eight. Next, you'll need some type of sound deadening. This assumes that you're in a somewhat normal room where sound can bounce off the walls and glass and different reflective surfaces and come back at you and give you a reflection that translates to what we hear as a reverb. But it's not the smooth, silky studio reverb that we want in our recordings. It's usually just some random, nasty sounding reverb. So we use tools like foam and blankets and basically anything that is porous and not smooth and hard, right? So something that has a lot of opportunity for air to go into little holes surrounded by some sort of fabric so that it doesn't bounce hard back at our ears, and we essentially eliminate reverberations in the room. That way we're free to add those reverbs that we want later and have them be precisely the types of reverbs that we want. Thing nine. Now, if we are indeed recording some type of real microphone, we have to be considerate of how much noise is surrounding that microphone. Certain microphones are more sensitive than others to noise, and sometimes there's a bit of a trade-off between how much clarity and detail you're going to get out of a microphone and how sensitive it is to noise. Namely, the more stuff you hear of your instrument, the more stuff you hear in the environment. More sensitive styles of microphones will generally also pick up more noise. So if you have a very high quality sensitive microphone, You need to put it in a relatively isolated space so that background noise doesn't leak onto it and influence the quality of the recording in a negative way.
Please subscribe, it keeps the channel alive.
So now that we have an overview of all the different equipment categories, I encourage you to dive in based on what type of musician or performer that you are.
Sign up for the newsletter. It's not spam, it's way, way better.